Hey, it's Mr. Barr, and this is Find the Function. So our learning goal for today, I can graph various types of functions. Graphs are all around me in the world. I want to be able to understand and create them. You can graph anything, right? You can throw out a net and create a table of x's and y's and then graph the function. But can you work it in reverse? Can you look at a graph and create the function that would create that graph? That is the goal for today. So we have three functions that we know. We know the absolute value function, the square root function, and the cube root function. So we're going to start by getting those guys into our notes. Oops, you guys are getting all sorts of craziness there. All right, so in our notes, we'll start with our name and find the function. And let's start with our absolute value function, which is y equals the absolute value of x plus h plus k. And we know that if I wanted to flip it, I would add a negative if you want to flip it. I would add a negative to flip, and I know that in this case, the vertex of this guy, the vertex is at negative h comma k. Remember, the h seems backwards. Okay, so what does that mean? And I'm going to do an absolute value first, and then we'll come back to the other ones. So when I come to an absolute value that looks like this, see this guy right here? So if I have this absolute value, I'm going to start by writing down the generic equation for this guy. So let's get it all. I'm going to start by writing it down. So I start with y equals the absolute value of x plus h plus k. All right. I know that this guy right here is the left-right. Is there any left-right shift on this? No. So I put a 0 right here. Is there any up-down shift on it? Yes. It goes up 3. So I put a 3 right here. Does it flip over? No. Then I don't worry about a flip. So what do I have here? I have y equals absolute value of x plus 3. No left-right shift, an up 3 shift, and no flip. So when I look at this, the vertex of this is at, where's it at? It's at 0, 3. It's at 0, 3. And this works for all of these. So if I come over here to a square root function, before we finish this, let's give us the shape. This is a V. So let's do a square root function. Y equals the square root x plus h plus k. I would add a negative if you want to flip it. And remember, the h seems backwards. And what does that h do? That's your left, right. What is your h or your k? That's your up, down. So let's take a look at one like this. They're all I'll come back to this guy. Here's our half u. So I start with give me a moment. So I start with kind of the blueprint equation, which is y equals the square root x plus h plus k. Okay. Now we're going to fill it in. Do I need to add a flip to it? No, I don't need a flip, so no flip. Do I need to do a left-right shift to it? No, no left-right shift, so get rid of that. Do I need to do an up-down shift? Yes, so I'm going to go a plus 2. So my equation is y equals the square root of x plus 2. I just walk piece by piece through each chunk of that blueprint equation. So let's go do a square, there's another cube. We'll come back to that one. There's a line. Let's do this one in our notes. So I know the equation for this kind of, before I finish this one, let's put the shape of this thing in here. This is kind of that S shape, right? No, this is the half U. So let's do the S shape now. So we have y equals the cube root of x plus h, this is going to seem backwards, plus k. Remember, I can add a negative if I need to flip this thing over. This piece right here handles the left, right, and is going to seam backwards. This guy handles the up-down, and it's going to seem normal. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to get kind of an S shape out of this guy. So when I look at this graph, so I'm looking at this guy right here. I start with the generic equation, and the generic equation is y equals the cube root of x plus h plus k. Okay, then I come over here, and now I've got to start building it. Well, I need a shift to the left of 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be, ready, a negative 3. A negative 3 moves it over here. I need to move it up 4, right? Get rid of this, plus 4. Do I need to flip it? No flip. So I have y equals the square root of x minus 3 plus 4. All right, so let's go back and we'll do some other ones here. I've done a v. Let's do the second v. It's a v. So I look at my notes and I go, oh, there's the generic equation for the v. Y equals x plus h plus k. Okay, here we go. So I come over here and I draw my generic equation. Y equals the absolute value x plus h plus k. Okay, so I need to shift it over 2 units. I need to go this direction 2 units. So I'm going to go minus 2, right, because it seems backwards. I need to shift it down 3 units. So I'm going to go minus 3 to move it down. And is there a flip? No flip. So y equals absolute value of x minus 2 minus 3. The minus 2 moves it over here. The minus 3 moves it down there. No flip. Okay, I did that one. Let's take a look at this guy. So I need to go over 2. So y equals the square root of x plus 2. I just moved it over 2. I need to move it down 3, minus 3, and I need to flip it. I just flipped it. X plus 2 moves it left 2, seems backwards. The negative 3 moves it down 3, that's normal, and the negative in front flips it. Okay, this guy, this is just a line, and I know how to build lines. So to build the line equation, I need 2 good points. There's a good point, there's a good point. The rise is 2, the run is 1. Rise of 2, run of 1. It's a positive, and the intercept is at 5. Y equals 2x plus 5. This isn't really new. This is just a slope-intercept equation. Okay, I did this one. This is a good one. It's a flip. Okay, so here's the center of it. Y equals the square root x. Ready? I need to move it over 2. There's my over 2. Notice that it seems backwards. I need to move it up 1. That moves it up 1, and I need to put a negative in front of it to flip it over. So this would be over 2, up 1, flipped. All right, a v, an absolute value. So let's start with our equation. Y equals the absolute value of x. Let's do a shift of 4 to the right. No shift up and down. Flipping it over. There it is. Remember, I don't even need this though. So y equals negative absolute value of x minus 4. The negative 4 moves it over. The 0 doesn't do anything, and the negative over here flips it. And this is just a slope-intercept line. How do I do that? I find 2 good points. There's a good point. There's a good point. I draw in my slope triangle. My rise is 3. My run is 1. It's a negative line because my name is going downhill. My y-intercept is at 2. So y equals negative 3x plus 2. And I think that's my last slide. It is. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in class.